As a public defender, Judge Karen fought for her client's rights. She was elected to the bench because she believes in doing the right thing.
I'm very passionate about helping people, period. But at what point are you gonna resolve the resentment? At some point, you need to be the one going through something.
Objective, independent justice.
You can always turn your life around. If you keep walking, you can overcome whatever circumstances you're facing.
This is Supreme Justice with Judge Karen. Stunt performer Liam Ellison is suing Trent Simpson in the amount of $4,500. Mr. Ellison claims the defendant moved on with his film without him and says he should be paid for the guaranteed work, even though he was replaced.
Mr. Ellison, you are suing Mr. Simpson for $4,500 for breach of contract, is that right?
That is correct, Your Honor.
And you are a movie producer?
Correct.
Okay, how long have you been doing that?
Well, I've been in the industry for like 20 years, but I've only been making my own films for about 10 years now.
Independent films?
Yeah.
Okay, and how many films have you made?
8 or 9.
Okay, and how did you meet the plaintiff?
We actually met at a party. When you're working in the film industry, there's a lot of networking. And so a friend of mine directed a movie and had hired him as a stunt performer. And so he'd been talked up to me, and when I saw him at the party, I introduced myself.
So how long have you been a stunt performer?
I started when I was 19 years old. I'm 27 now, so 8 years.
Is that what you do for a living? You're a stunt performer?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. So how did you enter into a contract with the defendant?
So he reached out to me. Like Trent said, we did meet at a party.
Right.
And he loved my video reel. I did submit it to the bailiff. I would love to show it to you at some point.
Okay. Chris, I'd like to see it.
Okay.
That's pretty impressive.
Thank you.
So in the film that you were making, the stunt was for what kind of work? What kind of stunt work?
It was a surf movie, Your Honor.
Surfing.
Yeah.
So he would have had to be a surfer. Are you a surfer?
Yes, I am, Your Honor.
Okay. Have you done surfing movies before?
I've done surfing commercials. This was my first surfing movie, which is why I was super excited, because I could finally show off like my surfing talent.
Okay. So what was the movie about then?
It was about a young man in his 20s, and he wants to impress the girl, he wants to overcome his fears, and he wants to win this big surf competition. That was the movie.
Okay. All right. So was there a contract?
Yes, we did have a contract.
May I see the contract?
Sure, I think...
I actually have it.
Okay,
right here,
let me
Your
see
Honor.
a copy of the contract. Now, what was your understanding of the contract?
So my understanding was that I would receive full payment for 6 weeks.
Of work?
Yes, and
Of $6,750?
Yes.
Okay.
And
all right. Well, so what happened during the filming of the movie?
there was a pause. The main actor.
that's-
Wait,
that's
let
not
me hear
accurate.
his side. I'm going to ask you your side in a minute.
Thank you, Your Honor.
What happened?
There was a pause because the main actor, who I was a stuntman for, he got sick.
Okay.
And it was a 2 to 3 week pause.
Okay,
but
so you
the
got
movie
paid for
continued.
how much time?
Only 2 weeks.
2
And in the
weeks.
contract, it was supposed to be 6 weeks, the full
Okay.
6 weeks.
All right, so now I want to ask the defendant. So is this true that the lead got sick?
Yeah, unfortunately there was a heart condition he didn't know about.
Right.
He was hospitalized. It wasn't just
Okay.
like he was sick.
Okay.
We initially paused it. That is true. We paused it for a brief time when we thought maybe he would be willing to or able to continue.
Right. How long did you pause the movie for?
Within the week, we found out that he was not going to be able to act anymore.
So how long did you pause the movie for?
We paused it for about a week, just under, and then I told the entire cast and crew that the production was off. We shut down production.
Right.
Then I scrambled as quickly as I could to try to salvage something. I hired another actor who I knew could do the part, but was much older. A very different part.
All right.
And I rewrote the script. We're talking about like 70% of the script at least.
What was the name of the movie?
Big Wave.
Okay, the original movie was called Big Wave.
Yeah, I kept the title. I liked the title for a surf movie.
What when you talk about the movie? What was the storyline of this new movie?
Well, it changed into a new project, and that story,
what was the story?
Was about an older man who had, like in his 50s,
right,
who had been a professional surfer in his 20s.
Right.
He was hit by a car, and that canceled his career. It ended his career.
Right.
And now he's having his big comeback. So it was a totally different story
right.
at that point.
Okay, so it was a comeback movie.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, so how much time between when you halted the first production of The Big Wave?
It was about 3 to 4 weeks.
So 3 to 4 weeks later, you started already the new production of The Big Wave.
Your Honor, but he kept the same name.
Wait, do not interrupt him now.
Sorry.
And the reason was because if you're making a surf movie
right.
outside in the water, in the ocean,
right.
you really need to do it in the summer. And I couldn't wait a whole another year to do it. You know, that wasn't going to work. So.
Coming up on Supreme Justice.
Okay, so you felt that he no longer, fit the role?
At all. Not even at all. The new actor is 6'4",
right.
250 pounds.
Right.
And later.
Where's the baby all this time?
The baby, she's enjoying it. She's off to the side,
right.
for the
Doing
most
what?
part.
I mean, she's 2 years old.
Well, baby took a nap and then daddy got lit.
If you'll be in the Los Angeles area and want to bring your case to court, call 1-888-552-6878. You're watching Supreme Justice with Judge Karen. Supreme Justice is back with the case of Liam Ellison, who is suing Trent Simpson for breach of contract.
Okay, so you felt that he no longer, fit the role?
At all. Not even at all. The new actor is 6'4",
right.
250 pounds,
right.
30 years older.
6'4", 250 pounds. He's surfing?
Yes.
I'd like to see that.
Yeah, well, that's the reason I went with him, is because I knew he had surfing experience.
Right.
Not enough to do the stunts, but enough where he would look good with a surfboard, entering the waves.
Right.
Then we could cut to our stunt performer who we hired to match it.
Okay, so, and the original guy was what? The original actor was what?
The original, I have evidence if you'd like to see.
Let me see. Okay, who is this? What is this?
So this is Johnny Duarte. He was the lead of the movie originally.
Okay.
And you can see he's bald.
Right.
He has a beard. He looked very similar. That's the reason why I hired him. It's true that I liked his reel, but I hired him because he matched the lead actor.
Okay.
But then when we hired a new actor, at that point, as you can see, he's much older.
Right.
He's taller, heavier.
Well, I don't see all that in here. You could put on some white hair on his face and lighten them up, and they'd be the same person from a distance. So this doesn't really show me the difference.
That wouldn't work for the surfing shots, Your Honor. Just because you've got water, it's going to knock the wig off and things like that. And even if you
got ways to keep wigs on, even on a roller coaster.
But even
have you seen those videos on YouTube? Even on a roller coaster with long hair, they can keep that wig on with the right amount of glue.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Go ahead, I'm
the other thing is, though, that he was wearing a swimsuit in a lot of the stuff. So I'm looking for a body match. It's not just the white hair. That's part of it, but it's really that match.
I was going to now go back to the plaintiff. Don't you sometimes in this stunt work use prosthetics?
Your Honor, we do.
What kind of prosthetics do you use?
So you can make a 30-year-old man look like a 65-year-old man.
Right. How expensive is it to do that?
That's very expensive. You need to hire a special makeup crew.
Right.
You need to hire, I mean, this all brings an inflated budget.
Okay, but how much is it to do that?
I don't have the data in front of me, but
so
we're talking about thousands of dollars that would go
What
up.
were you going to say?
As you know, stunt doubles, there's no zooming on their face. All I would really need is a wig. I've done over 10 to 15 movies.
Wait. Y'all want to talk to each other outside, you do that outside, but don't interrupt in here and talking to each other. The thing is, it wasn't just about the face. He's saying the body type wasn't there. The body type wasn't there. He says this other guy was 250 pounds, 6 foot something, which you or nowhere near that.
I've played a woman before, Your Honor, and I don't have the same body type as a woman.
Right.
I'm sure that's fine when you put her in a dress and you put her on a wig and you cover her up, that he could double a woman. You give him props, a purse. I'm sure all of that works. But this was doubling for a man in swim trunks.
In your pleadings, you talked to me about some text messages. Were there some text messages
yes,
about agreement? Let me see the text
right
messages.
There you go.
I guess the questionable language in the contract is this. If there is a halt in production indefinitely, the agency, being you, will have the right to terminate the contract.
Yes.
That is the questionable language here. Let me look at these text messages. Okay. Hey, Trent. Who's Trent?
I'm Trent.
He's Trent.
Okay, this is from you then. Hey, Trent, you still owe me $4,500 for 4 weeks on the work. And you say, unfortunately, I couldn't hire you back because you didn't look like the lead actor. Well, he's told me that already. This doesn't change anything. But thank you.
But, Your Honor, I wanted to point out one thing. In the contract, it states, if there was a halt in production indefinitely, they had the right to terminate the contract. Indefinitely. The production continued.
3 weeks later.
The name stayed the same, too.
Where's the indefinitely? 3 weeks later, you continue production of a movie called, and that's all it says in the contract, it's a movie called The Big Wave. The contract doesn't say in a movie called The Big Wave, starring whoever got sick, and it doesn't say that. It's the movie The Big Wave. If there is a halt in production indefinitely, it wasn't indefinite. It was definite, 3 weeks. And then the big wave started again.
Yeah, but it didn't. To me, it didn't start again. We lost crew. People had to go on and do other projects.
It started in 3 weeks.
Actors. I had to rewrite.
I am ready to roll.
He's the only one that sued. Everybody else was understanding about this.
You're lucky.
I think going forward, maybe I just won't use the same title, because that's the only thing that stayed the same.
Right. Well, the problem with a stunt person is if a stunt person is being used and it's going to be for a particular actor, it's real easy to put that in here. That would have been an easy fix on that. I'm ready to rule judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $4,500. Good luck to you.
Judge Karen has ruled in favor of the plaintiff. The defendant is ordered to pay $4,500.
Getting let go of one film will not stop me from pursuing my dreams.
Frankly, this was an incredibly difficult time for me. I'm just glad it's behind me.
Coming up.
What do you mean we got lit? What does that mean?
We're drinking, we had a little bit of, herbal relaxation.
You were smoking marijuana?
Yes, ma'am. This is California.
You're watching Supreme Justice with Judge Karen. Gary Avery is suing his best friend, Vince Deadman, in the amount of $500. Mr. Avery claims Mr. Deadman was intoxicated when he left his toddler unattended and says a cherished baby blanket was destroyed as a result.
So, Mr. Avery, you are suing your friend, Mr. Deadman, for $500 over a destroyed baby blanket?
Yes, ma'am.
This was your baby blanket?
Yes, ma'am.
How old are you now?
I'm 30 years old.
You're 30 years old.
Yes,
okay. And why is this blanket important?
Well, the blanket was made by my grandmother.
Okay.
My favorite grandmother, and she's actually now deceased. She's not with us anymore.
Okay.
Rest in peace.
Right.
So it's irreplaceable.
Okay. So Mr. Deadman was your best friend?
Yes, ma'am. For almost as long as I've been alive, since we were about 3 years old.
Y'all been friends all that time?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So how did we get to the blanket getting destroyed?
We were having a guys' night out, pretty much.
Okay.
His wife was also having a girls' night out.
Okay.
So he actually had time to spend with me and the guys. And
do you have any children?
I'm sorry?
Do you have any children?
Yeah, I have a little girl.
Okay. How old is your little girl?
Right now she's about two and a half.
Okay. All right. Was she there that night?
She was. She was there that night.
Why was the baby there?
Well, the missus, she wanted to do her little monthly girls' night, and this time it's at our apartment. So, got to give her space. So she told me to take the girl in the Strand.
Well, if she does that monthly, what happens to the baby every month? Every month when she does the girls' night, you take the baby out?
No, I take, We'll have like a daddy-daughter day.
Oh, okay. All right. So this time you brought baby to the boys' night out. Then what happened?
We watching the movie, did a little bit of playing card games, we're playing poker, a little poker with the guys.
You play poker, you watch movies, you're drinking.
Yes, ma'am.
What else is going on? Where's the baby all this time?
The baby, she's enjoying it. She's off to the side, for the most part.
I mean, she's 2 years old.
Well, baby took a nap and then daddy got lit, so.
Coming up.
She's in a dirty diaper, probably crying all night long, and you're drunk, falling out on the couch.
You're watching Supreme Justice with Judge Karen. Supreme Justice is back with the case of Gary Avery, who is suing Vince Stedman for property damage.
What do you mean we got lit? What does that mean?
We're drinking. You know, we had a little bit of, herbal relaxation.
You were smoking marijuana?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Is that what you mean when you say we got lit?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so we were smoking marijuana and drinking. Okay.
I want him to relax.
Okay.
And,
So where did we lay baby down?
In the back room.
Okay, in the back bedroom?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, how did we get to this blanket?
Blanket, the baby, he says he needs a blanket for the baby.
Right.
I instruct him where the blankets are.
Right. And I guess the blanket you chose happened to be that famous baby blanket of his.
Yes,
you found
ma'am.
that particular blanket. And then what happened to the blanket?
Well, the next day, he did stay the night with the child as well. I didn't want him to go home and, get into an accident or anything, so.
So then what happened with your blanket?
I wake up and I see it has, the baby had an explosive diaper, if you will.
Where did you see the blanket?
Well, Vince, he showed it to me.
He said that you noticed that there was a problem with the blanket?
Yes, Your Honor.
What happened to the blanket?
I woke up early morning to check on my little girl.
Right.
And, kids, they make a mess.
So baby had messed her diaper. What else?
It had some drool on it. I didn't know if it could have been urine, but I'm thinking it's baby drool.
Right,
it was just like the
Did
sticky.
you take pictures? Do I have something to look at here?
Well, after I have the after effects of what happened to
Is that
the
a
blankets.
picture?
Yes, ma'am.
Let me see that picture.
Judge Karen's verdict when Supreme Justice returns. You're watching Supreme Justice with Judge Karen.
It looks like the blanket got all ripped up and everything. The baby was probably frustrated through the night that nobody was there. She's in a dirty diaper, probably crying all night long, and you're drunk, falling out on the couch, and baby was stressed. Did you think about that?
I did, Your Honor, but in my defense,
There's no defense.
the rips didn't happen.
There is no defense. And now you're suing over a blanket? Are you kidding me?
You don't know.
What are you coming with? No, you don't know. What are we talking about $500? This blanket here is $500? This blanket?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay,
And
no,
that's
it's not.
what it's worth to me.
No,
for
it's not. You think you're going to get $500 to replace this? I would think that you could get a baby blanket, a little baby blanket like this for probably for about $50.
Your Honor,
I would say about $50.
The
if that.
sentimental value of the blanket.
You can never replace the sentimental value of it. You were responsible. You took a blanket. Your child ruined the blanket. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $50. Good luck to you.
Judge Karen has ruled in favor of the plaintiff. The defendant is ordered to pay $50.
$50. You can barely get a cheeseburger these days for $50.
Thought we was brothers. I'd have replaced the blanket. You trying to charge me $500, bro? That's crazy.
This has been a production of Allen Media Group.